Welcome to Sleepy Science. Tonight, we're going to walk into the quiet world of plants, a world that lives, breathes, and listens in ways we never notice. You're here to relax, and these gentle plant facts will help your mind slow down, one small step at a time. You'll hear how plants talk, how they move, how they protect themselves, and how they shape the calm around us. Some of these truths feel almost magical, some feel impossible, but all of them are soft, peaceful, and made to help you fall asleep. So take a slow breath, settle in. And if you want more sleepy science every night, make sure you subscribe. Plants often look quiet and still, but when you pay closer attention, you begin to see a soft and intelligent world hiding behind every leaf. They don't move fast or make noise, yet they sense the space around them in ways that feel almost magical. Plants feel light, gravity, touch, and even tiny vibrations, and they respond with slow, steady movements that show a calm kind of awareness. When you place a plant near a window, it slowly turns toward the light. It doesn't rush or force itself. It simply leans in the direction that helps it live. If you rotate the pot, the plant quietly corrects itself again, almost like it resets its inner map every time. This simple action tells us something important. Plants understand light in a very real way, even without eyes or a brain. They also sense gravity. A seed in complete darkness will still grow its roots downward and its stem upward. Even with no clue about the outside world, it somehow knows exactly where up and down are. This natural wisdom guides the plant from the moment it begins its life, helping it reach the surface and open itself to the sun. Plants can feel touch as well. A light brush of wind or a gentle tap from your hand sends tiny signals through their cells, encouraging them to grow stronger and more stable. A plant that is touched regularly builds a thicker, firmer stem, almost as if it is learning how to stand steady in a moving world. Some plants respond even more clearly. When you touch a mimosa plant, its leaves fold inward in a soft, protective motion. They behave as if they understand something has disturbed them, and they respond in the way nature taught them to stay safe. Vines show another kind of quiet intelligence. They reach out with their tendrils, feeling for something to hold on to. When a tendril touches a surface, the plant recognizes it and begins to curl around it, slowly wrapping itself for support. Watching a vine grow feels like watching a patient creature, exploring its surroundings without hurrying, taking its time with every tiny movement. Plants also sense sound in the form of vibrations. They don't hear like animals do, but they can detect small tremors around them. The sound of flowing water, for example, creates a pattern of vibration that roots can follow, guiding them toward moisture even when it's hidden. This gentle ability helps them survive, especially in dry or difficult environments. And it doesn't stop there. Plants communicate with each other through the air and through the soil. When a leaf is damaged by insects, the plant releases special scents that warn nearby plants. Those plants then change their chemistry and build their defenses before danger reaches them. Trees do something similar. They send signals through underground networks of tiny fungal threads, sharing nutrients, sending alerts, and helping each other grow. This underground web acts like a slow, peaceful communication system, connecting many plants into a quiet community. All of this happens while the plant continues its everyday rhythm. It opens its leaves to the morning light, drinks in the warmth, and closes or rests when the night comes. It adjusts its direction, its strength, and its growth with a calm confidence that feels soothing to watch. Nothing is rushed. Nothing is forced. It simply moves with the natural flow of time. Being around plants often makes people feel peaceful because plants show us a life that doesn't hurry. They remind us that we can slow down, breathe, and let things happen at a gentle pace. Their awareness may be simple, but it is steady and constant, and the more you learn about it, the more calming it becomes. Every part of a plant has a purpose. Leaves sense light, roots search for water, stems carry silent messages through the whole body, and the entire plant responds in its own slow language, quietly adapting to the world around it. This calm intelligence is always there, hidden beneath the stillness, waiting for anyone who chooses to look closely enough. When you sit quietly and take a slow breath, it's easy to forget that something else in the room is breathing with you. A plant may look still, but inside every leaf, a gentle exchange is always happening. Light comes in, air moves through, tiny openings rise and fall, and the plant releases the oxygen that keeps your own lungs calm and steady. This quiet connection makes plants feel closer, almost like companions who breathe in their own soft rhythm beside you. Most people imagine photosynthesis as something confusing, but the truth is simple. Plants take in sunlight the way you take in warmth. The light touches the leaf, and the leaf uses that light to help make food. While doing this, the plant lets out fresh oxygen. It doesn't rush. It doesn't push. It just releases clean air into the space around it, little by little, the same way a person exhales during a long, slow breath. This natural exchange continues all day, filling the air with something pure and smooth. If you look closely at a leaf, even with simple eyes, you can sometimes see tiny textures on its surface. Hidden there are small openings that behave almost like tiny mouths. They open when the plant needs air and close when it needs to rest. During the warm parts of the day, they widen gently to let carbon dioxide enter, helping the plant make energy. When it gets too hot or too dry, they begin to close, protecting the plant from losing too much water. These motions are small and quiet, but they show how alive the plant really is. You may never notice when these openings move because everything happens in a slow and careful way. The plant listens to the temperature, the light, and even the moisture in the air. Then it responds with soft changes that keep it balanced. It is almost like watching someone breathe in sleep, where the chest rises and falls without effort, following an inner rhythm that stays steady no matter what happens around. Plants follow the sun in the same gentle way. As morning light appears, many plants slowly turn their leaves toward it, catching the first soft rays. When the sun moves through the sky, the leaves adjust again, like a person shifting slightly to stay warm under a blanket. The plant keeps facing the light as long as it's there, and when evening comes, it settles back into a restful position. This daily motion is so calm and consistent that it often goes unnoticed, yet it shows another kind of quiet intelligence. Watching a plant follow the sun can feel surprisingly peaceful. The movement is smooth, patient, and free from stress. It reminds your mind that growth doesn't have to be fast to be real. A small turn here, a gentle lift there, each change brings the plant exactly what it needs. And as you observe it, you may feel your own thoughts slowing down, matching the plant's steady pace. Even plants that seem stiff or heavy have their own breathing rhythm. Trees take in carbon dioxide through their leaves and give out oxygen with every moment of sunlight they absorb. Entire forests breathe together, creating huge waves of fresh air that move across the land. If you've ever stood beneath tall trees and taken a deep breath, you may have felt the air taste a little cleaner. That feeling comes from millions of quiet breaths happening all around you. Inside each leaf, light energy turns into something useful for the plant, much like food turns into energy for you. The plant uses that energy to grow roots, stretch its stems, and build new leaves that will catch even more light. And once again, this process releases oxygen back into the air. Even though you cannot hear it, even though you cannot see it, the plant is constantly supporting the world around it through this soft, steady work. Some plants open their leaves wide in the morning and close them slightly at night. Others change the angle of their leaves depending on how strong the sunlight is. These quiet adjustments help them breathe more easily and keep their bodies cool. In a way, their behavior mirrors your own body, which adjusts its breathing as you rest, move, or fall asleep. You breathe deeper when relaxed. You breathe lightly when calm. Plants shift their own breathing just as gently, responding to the day with the same peaceful attention. Many people find comfort in knowing that plants release oxygen during the day, and at night some simply relax and slow down their activity. They don't stop living. They don't stop sensing. They just rest, the same way you do when the world becomes quiet. Some plants even raise or lower their leaves as the light fades, almost like they are stretching before bedtime. These subtle movements create a calming sense of life that makes any room feel softer. If you imagine each leaf as a small lung, gently taking in what it needs and giving back what it can, the plant starts to feel more familiar. It has its own rhythm, its own pace, its own patterns that never rush. This slow breath of life helps balance the air you breathe, and it happens without noise or effort. The plant simply exists, and in doing so, it supports everything around it. When the sun is bright, the plant breathes a little more. When the clouds come in, it breathes a little less. When the air is warm and gentle, it opens itself fully. When the heat becomes harsh, it protects itself with calm, steady control. Every moment of this cycle shows how deeply connected the plant is to the world. And when you slow down enough to notice, you start to feel connected too. Plants remind you that breathing does not have to be forced. It does not have to be loud. It can be soft, smooth, and natural. You breathe in. The plant breathes out. You breathe out. The plant breathes again. This quiet partnership has been happening since the beginning of life on Earth, and it continues every time you sit near something green. You don't need to understand complex science to feel this connection. All you need is a moment of stillness, a gentle breath, and the awareness that something living nearby is breathing with you. This simple truth brings a kind of comfort that settles the mind and helps you relax, knowing that life moves at different speeds, yet all of it is linked. When night falls, the world grows quiet, and most people imagine plants simply standing still in the darkness. But the truth is far more calming. Plants have their own nighttime habits, their own gentle routines, and their own quiet way of resting. They don't sleep the same way humans do, but they enter a softer state, one that feels peaceful and slow, almost like a long, steady breath taken in the dark. As the sun drops below the horizon, many plants begin to change their posture. Some lower their leaves a little, others fold them inward. Some turn slightly away from the fading light. These movements happen slowly, almost too quietly to notice, but they show that the plant is preparing for the night. It adjusts itself the same way a person might settle into a comfortable position before sleep, making tiny shifts until everything feels right. During the day, plants gather the energy they need from sunlight. At night, they store and organize it. This is the time when they repair small damage, strengthen their cells, and prepare for the next morning. It's like the plant is sorting through its day, taking what it collected and turning it into something useful. The whole process is calm and steady, giving the plant a chance to recover, just as you recover when you rest. Some plants show their nighttime routine very clearly. There are species that fold their leaves together as soon as the light fades. They tuck themselves in gently, almost like a soft, living reflex. This behavior is called night closure, but it feels more like a plant's version of sleep. When morning comes, the leaves open again, slowly spreading out toward the light, ready for a new day. Watching this happen can be surprisingly soothing because the movement is so patient and natural. Even plants that do not physically fold still enter a restful state. Their breathing slows. Their water flow becomes gentler. Their inner work shifts from active growth to quiet maintenance. Everything becomes softer inside them. They release less moisture. They use less energy. It is a time of stillness that helps them stay balanced. And if you sit near a plant at night, you might feel that calm settle into the room, filling the space with a quiet, peaceful energy. At night, some plants follow their own hidden rhythms, which have been shaped by thousands of years of life on Earth. Certain flowers close their petals to protect themselves from cool air or nighttime insects. Some plants angle their leaves downward to avoid losing heat. Others stretch slightly under the moonlight, responding to small changes in temperature and humidity. Every little adjustment has a purpose, even if it looks like nothing is happening. Plants also continue to breathe at night, though the process is different from the daytime. Without sunlight, they switch to a slower pattern. They take in oxygen and release a small amount of carbon dioxide. It's a calm exchange, much quieter than their daytime activity. And because everything moves so slowly, the nighttime breath of a plant feels almost like a whisper, soft and steady in the dark. This is why the presence of plants can feel comforting even when the lights are off. Their quiet rest creates a peaceful environment. They settle into the darkness in a gentle way, and that stillness can help you settle too. There's something soothing about knowing that a living thing nearby is also resting, also recovering, also preparing for tomorrow. It makes the room feel more alive, yet more peaceful at the same time. Some plants with very strong nighttime habits are called sleeping plants. They react to light and darkness so clearly that you can see their leaves rise and fall every day. These plants follow a natural internal clock that keeps them on a steady schedule, just like humans have. When evening comes, their leaves begin to close. As morning arrives, they slowly open again. The rhythm is consistent, gentle, and strangely reassuring. Even though you can't watch most of these movements in real time, they are happening all around you. A leaf might shift a little to reduce moisture loss. A stem might lean into a more relaxed position. A flower might curl its petals inward. All of these actions are slow, but they add a quiet sense of life to the night. Plants are never truly still. They are always adjusting in tiny ways that help them stay healthy. This nighttime routine is also a moment for the plant to protect itself. In the dark, temperatures drop and the world becomes cooler. A plant responds by slowing its activity so it doesn't lose too much water or energy. It becomes calm and steady, holding on to what it needs to stay strong. This careful behavior shows that even in the quietest moment, the plant is paying attention to its surroundings. If you imagine a room filled with plants at night, you can almost feel a soft wave of calm moving through the air. Each plant rests in its own way, but together they create a peaceful environment that feels natural and grounding. Their slow rhythms match the quiet of the night, making the atmosphere feel safe and gentle. This is one reason people find it so relaxing to sleep near greenery. Some plants even follow the moon. They adjust their leaves slightly as the light changes in the sky, responding to tiny shifts that most of us never notice. This connection to nature's rhythms adds another layer of calmness to their nighttime behavior. The plant is in tune with the world in a way that feels deep and ancient, almost like a quiet language shared between life and darkness. Even though plants work hard during the day, Their night cycle shows a different side of them. It reveals their patience, their balance, and their soft awareness. And the more you learn about it, the easier it becomes to relax in their presence. Their restful energy encourages your mind to slow down, allowing thoughts to settle and breathing to become smoother. Plants do not sleep the way you do, but they rest in a way that feels just as peaceful. They repair themselves. They save energy. They protect their leaves. They breathe gently. They adjust to the darkness. All of these actions happen without sound, without pressure, without haste. And as they rest, they create a space where your own mind can rest too. When morning finally returns, the plant begins its new cycle with calm readiness. Leaves unfold. Light enters. Energy rises again. But during the night, it lives in a place of softness and silence, a place that mirrors the feeling you look for when you try to fall asleep. And knowing that the plant is resting beside you, breathing its slow, natural rhythm, makes the quiet hours of the night feel a little softer. When you walk through a forest, it is easy to think that every tree stands alone, but deep under the soil, they are quietly connected in ways that most people never imagine. Trees live slow, steady lives, and their world is built on calm cooperation. They share food, send signals, and support each other through gentle exchanges that move beneath the surface. This hidden communication makes the forest feel like a peaceful community, where every tree plays a quiet role in keeping the whole place alive. If you could look underground, you would see roots stretching in every direction, weaving through the soil like long, living threads. Many of these roots connect with tiny networks of fungi that help carry nutrients from tree to tree. Through this system, a strong tree can send extra food to a weaker one, almost like offering a helping hand. Young trees trapped in shade get support from older ones, allowing them to grow slowly until they reach the light. It feels almost like kindness, passed silently from one life to another. Trees don't move quickly, yet they constantly respond to what happens around them. When one tree is stressed by insects or drought, it releases subtle chemical signals that travel through the air or through the roots. Nearby trees sense these messages and prepare themselves by strengthening their leaves or storing more water. These gentle alerts move through the forest like soft whispers, allowing every tree to adjust in its own slow, steady way. There is something deeply calming about knowing that trees warn each other and help each other, even though they stand completely still. This quiet cooperation creates a strange sense of safety within the forest. You can almost feel it when you stand among tall trunks and listen to the soft rustle of leaves. The forest becomes more than a group of trees. It becomes a gentle community, built on patience and quiet awareness. Another hidden truth about trees is the way they move water upward from the roots to the leaves. It's a long journey that can stretch dozens of meters, yet it happens in soft, steady pulses. Some scientists compare this movement to a slow heartbeat, not a fast, pounding one, but a deep and peaceful rhythm that rises through the trunk. Every pulse moves water upward, carrying life toward the branches and feeding every part of the tree. If you place sensitive tools on a tree's trunk, you can sometimes detect tiny movements that follow this rhythm. The trunk expands slightly as water rises and contracts gently as the flow slows down. These tiny changes are not visible to the eye, but they remind us that the tree is never truly still. It is always breathing, drinking, and responding in its own calm way. And once you know this, you can almost sense that quiet heartbeat when you touch the bark or lean against the trunk. Water moves through the tree because of sunlight, gravity, and small changes in pressure. During the day, leaves pull water upward as they open themselves to the sun. At night, the flow becomes smoother and slower, almost like the tree is resting. This natural cycle continues every day and every night, keeping the tree balanced and strong. Even though it happens without sound, the process feels steady and grounding, like a gentle pulse that never stops. Forests feel peaceful because trees move at a pace that is much slower than human life. They live for decades, centuries, and sometimes thousands of years. Their slow rhythm teaches patience without ever saying a word. When you stand in a forest, your body often slows down on its own. Your breathing becomes softer, your thoughts become quieter, and you feel a natural sense of calm that rises from the ground beneath your feet. Inside the soil, the root networks are always busy, but their work is gentle. They move nutrients the same way a slow stream moves water, calmly, steadily, and without force. They carry minerals, moisture, and tiny signals that help every tree stay aware of its surroundings. Some trees even share extra sugar with their neighbors, especially with young saplings that can't reach much light. It's a quiet reminder that life in nature often depends on cooperation rather than competition. Older trees play a special role in these underground communities. Their long roots reach deep into the ground, where they find water during dry times. They can send this water to smaller trees, helping them survive when the heat becomes too strong. These older trees are sometimes called mother trees because they support the younger ones in ways that keep the whole forest healthy. This gentle protection spreads across the forest floor, offering comfort to every part of the community. You can imagine these connections like soft threads linking one tree to the next. The threads carry messages, food, and help when needed. Even though you cannot see them, the forest feels different once you know they exist. You begin to understand why a forest feels alive in a deeper sense, almost like a single, breathing organism made of many quiet parts working together. The slow heartbeat of trees is one of the most soothing things in nature. It reminds you that life does not always need to move fast to be strong. The steady upward flow of water, the calm spread of nutrients, and the soft signals passed through the soil all show a kind of wisdom that only time can teach. Trees simply exist, and through their existence, they bring stability to everything around them. When wind moves through the branches, it carries a cool, gentle sound that feels grounding. The leaves respond with soft rustles, like nature's own whisper. The tree's slow heartbeat continues beneath that sound, hidden but steady, like the quiet rhythm of someone sleeping deeply. Standing near a large tree can sometimes feel like standing next to something ancient and peaceful, something that has seen many days and many nights without ever rushing. Forests built on these rhythms stay strong for centuries. They support animals, insects, soil life, and even the air around them. All of this comes from the simple actions of trees exchanging nutrients, sharing signals, and pulling water toward the sky. The more you learn about these slow processes, the more calming they become, because they remind you that life can move gently and still create something powerful. The quiet world of trees carries a sense of grounding that settles into your mind. Their slow heartbeat, their rooted connections, and their steady cooperation all blend together into a feeling that is peaceful and deep. When you imagine these movements happening through the night, continuing even when the world is silent, it becomes easier to relax and let your own thoughts slow down. Trees live in a rhythm that encourages calm. And the more you understand that rhythm, the easier it becomes to feel steady inside yourself. There is something wonderful about knowing that every plant around you carries a story that started long before humans ever walked the earth. When you look at a leaf, it feels simple and quiet, but inside that leaf is the memory of millions of years. Plants have seen the rise and fall of mountains, the movement of oceans, and the slow change of the planet. They survived storms that lasted ages and weather that shifted again and again. When you think about it, it becomes calming to know that something so gentle has lived through so much. It makes your worries feel smaller, and your mind slowly becomes more peaceful. Plants remember in a way that is not like our memory. They do not keep pictures or sounds. Instead, they store tiny chemical changes inside their cells. These changes help them learn what the world is like and how to survive in it. For example, if a plant lives through a very hot season, it adjusts its cells so it can handle heat better the next time. If it experiences a cold winter, it stores information about that too. This quiet learning stays inside the plant, passing on from season to season. Even though the plant never moves from its place, it becomes wiser with each year. It might be strange to think that plants can remember, but scientists today see this memory clearly. When plants face stress, they leave signals inside their cells, almost like gentle notes written in a secret language. These notes remind them how to protect themselves if the same stress comes again. It is soft, slow wisdom created over time. And when you picture a whole forest doing this together, you start to feel the weight of ancient memory all around you, like the world itself is whispering old stories. Some plants keep memories that are even older than the trees you see today. Many of the plants we know, ferns, mosses, pines, are part of families that existed before dinosaurs. Ferns grew on Earth more than 360 million years ago. They spread across the land before any bird ever flew or any flower ever opened. When you look at a fern today, you are looking at a living piece of Earth's past. Its soft leaves carry the shape of the ancient world, and its simple beauty reminds you that life does not need to change fast to stay strong. Trees also carry memories in their rings. When you touch the trunk of a very old tree, you are touching hundreds or even thousands of years of quiet life. Each ring inside the trunk shows a year of history, years of rain, years of dryness, years of growth, and years of resting. Trees do not rush. They stay in one place and gather the whole story of their environment little by little. If a tree grows in a calm and peaceful area, its rings are wide and smooth. If the tree had to survive a harsh season, the rings become narrow and tight. In this way, the tree keeps a record of its life, like a diary written in wood. Some plants hold an even deeper type of memory, one that travels through seeds. A seed may look small and weak, but inside it lies the full map of the plant's life. It knows how tall it should grow, when it should make leaves, and how it should survive. Seeds carry the memory of all the plants that came before them. They remember which conditions were good and which conditions were dangerous. And when the seed finally wakes, it brings that old memory with it into a new world. There are seeds that have slept for hundreds of years and still come back to life. Scientists once found a seed from an ancient plant in a very old cave. It had been resting for more than 1,000 years. When they placed it in warm soil and gave it water, it opened slowly and grew again. Imagine that. Something that lived in a time of kings, deserts, and stories long forgotten, suddenly waking up in the modern world. It is like a small time traveler that carries the memory of its whole species inside it. Plants also remember their relationships with other living things. Some plants grow with friendly fungi that live near their roots. These fungi help the plant take in nutrients, and the plant shares sugar with them in return. When this friendship lasts for many years, the plant and fungi remember how to depend on each other. They adjust their growth so they fit perfectly together. This memory is not something they think about. It simply becomes part of their life. It shows that even without a brain, plants can build deep and long-lasting connections. Across huge stretches of time, plants also survived extinctions that wiped out many other creatures. When giant asteroids struck the Earth or when climate changed suddenly, plants found a way to stay. They bent, they adapted, and they waited. Their memories helped them adjust to new light, new temperatures, and new soil. Some plants changed their shape, some changed their size, and some learned to grow in new ways. But they kept living, and because they survived, the world stayed green. The plants you see today carry that same ancient strength. A small grass at your feet is related to plants that survived ice ages. A simple moss on a rock carries the quiet memory of long-lost worlds. Even the trees in a park have ancestors that lived through storms far older than any human memory. Thinking about this slowly makes your mind calm. It makes you feel safe, because you are surrounded by life that has learned to survive through everything. What is even more peaceful is that plants use this ancient memory in gentle ways. They do not fight, they do not rush. They stay patient. They grow at their own pace, trusting the wisdom written inside them. And as you imagine this slow and steady life, your own thoughts begin to slow down too. You start to feel like time is stretching softly around you, without pressure or noise. There is something comforting about knowing that plants are always holding the earth's oldest memories. They have seen darkness and light, heat and cold, storms and calm skies. And yet they still grow quietly, offering shade, beauty, and oxygen. When you close your eyes and picture a plant holding millions of years inside its tiny cells, you feel connected to something bigger than yourself. You feel part of a long, gentle story that continues even now. And maybe that is why plants help you relax. They show you that strength can be soft. They show you that life can survive with patience. And they remind you that the world has been through many changes, yet it always finds a way to bloom again. If you sit quietly near a group of plants, it may feel like nothing is happening. But if you could shrink down to the size of a tiny insect or listen with ears much sharper than human ears, you would hear something amazing. Leaves are always talking. They do not use voices, but they speak in soft vibrations, gentle movements, and tiny signals that travel through the air. Their language is slow, delicate, and almost invisible, but it is there. And once you imagine it, you never see plants the same way again. A leaf may look still, but it is full of activity. Inside it, water flows like a slow river. Little openings open and close, letting air pass in and out. Light touches the surface, and the leaf changes its shape just a little to catch more of it. These small movements create tiny vibrations, like a whisper that only other plants can understand. Even when the wind is quiet, leaves make their own soft sounds. Scientists found that some leaves create gentle clicks when they are stressed, although our ears are not sharp enough to hear them. The idea that leaves might be whispering to one another adds a calming sense of mystery. When one plant senses danger, its leaves send warnings. If a bug begins to chew on one leaf, the plant quickly releases special chemicals into the air. These chemicals float out like invisible messages. Nearby leaves smell the warning and prepare themselves. They thicken their surface, change their taste, or make themselves harder for insects to eat. It is like plants calling out softly, "Be careful, something is coming." This quiet teamwork helps them survive, and it makes you realize how connected they are. Even though they stand in silence, they are never alone. Some plants send their signals through the soil as well. Their roots release messages that travel underground, reaching the roots of nearby plants. When these messages arrive, the other plants respond, almost as if they are nodding back. A tree may warn a smaller plant. A grass may share information with another grass. It is a patient conversation, moving slowly through the earth. When you imagine this hidden world beneath your feet, it feels like nature has its own secret network, working all the time, even when everything above looks still. Sometimes leaves warn each other of dry weather. When a plant realizes water is running low, its leaves tighten up and close their tiny openings. Then it sends signals to its neighbors, telling them to save water too. Step by step, each plant adjusts. It is not loud or dramatic, but it shows a special kind of caring. They protect each other in a way that feels almost gentle, like friends sharing advice. Even the sounds that insects make on leaves play a role in this soft language. When a hungry caterpillar starts eating a leaf, the leaf shakes in a certain pattern. Plants can actually recognize this pattern and tell the difference between harmless touches and the sound of danger. If a raindrop falls on a leaf, it makes one type of vibration. But if a caterpillar chews it, the vibration is sharper and more rhythmic. The plant responds quickly, sometimes within minutes. It begins sending protective chemicals through its veins, preparing for the attack. The fact that leaves can listen in this way makes you think about how alive they truly are. Leaves also send messages about light. When a plant does not get enough sunlight, its leaves release signals telling nearby plants not to grow too fast or too tall. This helps everyone share the light more fairly. It is not competition, it is balance. A forest or a garden becomes a peaceful group of living beings that help each other survive. When you picture all the leaves adjusting their growth together, it creates a calming picture of harmony. There are also moments when leaves speak in a more beautiful way. When morning light begins to rise, many plants open their leaves slowly, almost like stretching after a long sleep. These movements create tiny vibrations that other plants sense. It is as if the plants are greeting each other with a soft "good morning." At sunset, they fold inward again, sending different signals that say the day is ending. Their quiet motions match the rhythm of the earth, and thinking about that rhythm helps your own mind settle down. Some leaves use color as a kind of language too. When a plant is healthy and calm, its leaves shine a deep green. When it is stressed, the green becomes pale or yellowish. Other plants can see these color changes and understand what they mean. They know when their neighbor is struggling or when something in the environment is changing. This visual language spreads across fields and forests, creating a soft communication you can look at with your own eyes. There are even cases where leaves call for help from animals. When a plant is in danger from pests, its leaves send a signal into the air that attracts friendly insects. These helpful insects come flying in and eat the harmful pests. It is like the plant is asking for support, and the natural world answers. This beautiful teamwork helps the plant stay safe without any fighting or noise. Just calm, natural cooperation. But the most peaceful part of leaf language is how silent and steady it is. Everything happens slowly and naturally without stress. The signals are gentle. The movements are small. The messages float through the air in ways we cannot see. It is a reminder that communication does not always need words or sounds. Sometimes the softest message can be the strongest. If you ever sit under a tree and look up at the leaves moving above you, you might imagine them whispering to each other. One leaf shakes slightly, passing a vibration to the next. Another tilts toward the light and shares its signal. The whole tree becomes a quiet choir of tiny motions, all connected. And when the wind blows gently, it feels like the leaves are singing a calm lullaby to the world. Thinking about this soft language relaxes your mind because it shows you a world that does not rush or yell. Everything is balanced. Everything is patient. The plants are always watching the environment, always sharing information, always helping one another. Their communication is peaceful, honest, and natural. When you close your eyes and imagine thousands of leaves whispering together, it feels like the earth itself is calming you. Their soft conversations move through the air, soothing your thoughts and slowing your breath. And as you picture this gentle world, your body begins to relax too. You feel safe, connected, and held by the quiet strength of nature. Some plants carry a special kind of calm inside them, and the moment you smell them or touch them, you feel that calm spreading through your body. It is gentle, warm, and almost familiar, like something your mind has known for a long time. These healing plants have been used for centuries, not because people wanted something magical, but because they noticed how these plants soften stress, relax the breath, and bring peace into the mind. When you learn about them slowly and quietly, it feels like you're stepping into a soft garden filled with comfort. Lavender is one of the most calming plants in the world. Its soft purple flowers release a scent that melts tension almost instantly. People have used lavender for thousands of years to help with sleep, stress, and restlessness. Even today, when you smell lavender, your body reacts almost without thinking. Your shoulders loosen a little, your breathing slows down, your mind stops pushing so hard. The scent feels smooth and gentle, like a warm hand resting on your back. Some people place a little lavender near their pillow so the scent can guide them into sleep, and many describe it as a quiet friend that stays with them through the night. Chamomile carries a different kind of calm. It doesn't have a strong scent like lavender, but its softness comes from the way it gently affects the body. When chamomile flowers are steeped in warm water, they release tiny natural compounds that help relax the muscles and settle the mind. People sip chamomile tea at night to let their thoughts slow down, and the warmth of the drink makes the calm even deeper. Ancient cultures viewed chamomile as a plant of peace, treating it almost like a small guardian of rest. Even the flowers look soothing, with soft white petals and golden centers that remind you of tiny suns. When you imagine a field of chamomile in the evening light, it brings a quiet comfort to your heart. Aloe brings its own kind of healing energy. When you break a leaf open, the gel inside feels cool and smooth, almost like the plant is offering relief in the most gentle way possible. Aloe has been used across the world to soothe burns, calm the skin, and help the body recover. Cultures from deserts, islands, and forests all reached for aloe when they needed healing, and many believed the plant carried a peaceful spirit inside it. When you touch the gel, it feels as if the plant is sharing its stored water with you, giving you a piece of the comfort it saved from the sun. Just the sight of a healthy aloe plant brings a feeling of softness, because you know it carries a quiet strength within its leaves. Mint offers a refreshing calm. It doesn't make you sleepy the way lavender or chamomile do, but it clears the mind in a gentle way that helps your thoughts settle. When you breathe in the cool scent of mint, it feels like fresh night air entering your lungs. It wakes you, but it also relaxes you at the same time. Many cultures kept mint near windows and doorways, believing it brought peace to the home and cleaned the air. The leaves are bright, green, and full of life, and when you rub one between your fingers, the scent rises quickly, almost like a soft spark of energy that brightens your mood without overwhelming it. These healing plants have something in common. They soothe through the senses. Lavender calms through scent. Chamomile comforts through warmth. Aloe heals through touch. Mint clears through freshness. Each one speaks to the body in a different way, and when you imagine them together, you feel surrounded by a soft, warm, peaceful energy. Cultures around the world have always known this. Long before science explained anything, people could feel what these plants did. They dried lavender and kept it in small cloth bags. They brewed chamomile at sunset. They rubbed aloe on tired skin after a hot day. They placed mint leaves in bath water or crushed them to release the bright scent. These traditions were passed down like gifts, not because they were rules, but because they worked. They helped people relax. They helped families rest. They helped minds that were full of worry become calm again. Imagine sitting in a quiet room with the soft scent of lavender in the air. The room feels warm and safe. Outside, the night is still, and inside, the scent wraps around you like a gentle blanket. Then imagine a warm cup of chamomile tea in your hands. The steam touches your face, and the warmth moves slowly through your body. Your muscles ease, and your thoughts soften. You feel your breath becoming smoother, almost matching the calm rhythm of the plants themselves. Now picture an aloe plant on a windowsill. Its thick leaves glow softly in the light, holding water and calmness inside them. You know that if you ever need comfort for your skin or warmth from the sun, aloe will offer its cool touch without any effort. It stands there patiently, keeping its healing energy ready for you. And nearby, you imagine a small mint plant. Its bright leaves shine with a clean green color, and every time the wind moves, a little coolness fills the air. When plants like these grow near each other, they create a peaceful environment that feels gentle to the senses. A garden filled with lavender, chamomile, aloe, and mint becomes a place where the mind naturally slows down. You can almost feel the calm rising from the ground. The colors, the scents, the textures, all of them work together to guide you into a more peaceful state. These plants also connect to memory. Many people remember the smell of lavender from childhood. Others remember chamomile tea given to them on nights when they couldn't sleep. Aloe may remind someone of being cared for when they had sunburn after a day outside. Mint might bring back the feeling of clean air in the early morning. These memories add another layer of calm, because the plants remind you of times when you felt safe, loved, and cared for. Even when you think of them now, you might feel your mind slowing down just a little. You may notice your breath becoming smoother. Your shoulders might relax. That is the quiet effect these plants have. They don't demand attention. They don't rush. They simply fill the space with a soft energy, and your body responds in its own gentle way. As you imagine these healing plants, you can picture them surrounding you like a calm circle. Lavender's purple glow, chamomile's soft white petals, aloe's cool green strength, mint's fresh brightness. Together they create a peaceful world that feels safe and warm, a world where your mind can rest, your breath can soften, and your body can prepare for sleep. Some plants seem to belong to another world. They glow softly in the dark. They float on water like tiny islands, and some even grow without touching soil at all. When you learn about them, they feel almost magical, as if nature decided to play with light, water, and air just to show us how gentle and creative life can be. Thinking about these plants at night brings a dreamy feeling, like exploring secrets that only reveal themselves when the world becomes quiet. Imagine a plant that glows in the night. The idea sounds like something from a fairy tale, but there are real plants that give off a soft light. Some of them glow because friendly fungi live inside their roots or on their leaves. The fungi create a cool, pale green light that spreads through the plant. In the stillness of the night, this glow can look like small stars shining close to the ground. In old stories, people believed these glowing plants were spirit lights or signs from the forest. Today, we know it is a natural reaction, but that doesn't make it any less beautiful. The soft glow feels calm, steady, and comforting, like a quiet lantern guiding your mind into rest. There are also glowing algae that light up the water when waves move. They are not plants in the strictest sense, but they live and behave like plants, and they make the ocean look magical. When a wave rolls or when something touches the water, the algae create a blue sparkle that spreads through the darkness. Many people say it looks like the sea is breathing out light. Imagine standing near that glowing water on a quiet night. You would hear nothing but gentle waves, and every small movement would make the ocean shine. It feels peaceful just thinking about it. Now picture a forest that floats on water. There are places in the world where plants create giant mats that sit on lakes and rivers, holding trees, grasses, and flowers on their surface. These floating forests move slowly with the water, but they stay whole because the roots of the plants grow into each other, weaving a strong net. When animals walk on them, the ground feels soft and springy, almost like stepping on a natural cushion. Everything is connected below the surface, and everything stays balanced. These floating forests remind us that nature can build its own worlds in the most surprising places, using patience and calm cooperation. Some plants grow entirely above the water, their roots dangling down like long threads. They hang from logs or driftwood, taking what they need from the sunlight and the air. They look delicate, but they survive storms, waves, and changes in wind. Their strength comes from their flexibility. They move with the water instead of fighting it, and they take what they need without asking for much. Thinking about them brings a soft sense of peace, because they show that life can be simple and strong at the same time. There are also plants that grow without soil. Air plants live on trees, rocks, and even thin branches, holding on with tiny roots that don't pull food from the ground. Instead, they absorb everything they need from the moisture in the air. When fog rolls in or when rain falls lightly, air plants soak up the water through their leaves. Their colors become brighter and their shapes open gently, almost like they are waking up. These plants teach you that sometimes life can be supported by the smallest things: tiny drops of water, soft light, and a quiet environment. Some air plants grow in shapes that look like stars, spirals, or small fireworks frozen in time. Their thin leaves curl and twist in different directions, creating patterns that feel calming to look at. People often hang them in rooms or place them near windows because they bring a peaceful energy into the space. They do not need much care, and they seem to float gently wherever they are placed. When you picture one hanging silently in the corner of a quiet room, it adds a light, airy feeling to the scene. There are rainforests where the air is so full of mist that plants grow high above the ground, holding themselves to branches and taking in water from the clouds. Moss covers everything in a soft green blanket. Small orchids hang from branches, catching tiny drops of moisture. Ferns stretch their delicate leaves outward, collecting mist like a gentle breath. These plants don't worry about dry soil or deep roots. They rely on the constant moisture around them, and they thrive in the calm, cool air. When you imagine walking through such a place, everything feels hushed, as if the plants are whispering softly to each other in the fog. Another magical plant is the water hyacinth. It floats on the surface of lakes and ponds, holding itself up with swollen, air-filled stems that act like tiny balloons. The leaves are round and smooth, and the flowers bloom in a beautiful shade of purple. When the wind moves, the hyacinth slides slowly across the water, forming gentle patterns that shift from moment to moment. They create peaceful circles, soft lines, and moving shapes that look almost like the water itself is drawing. Watching them would calm anyone's mind. Some plants even use bubbles as part of their life. Certain aquatic plants release small bubbles of oxygen that rise slowly to the surface, catching the light along the way. If you look closely, the bubbles sparkle like tiny silver beads. They show the plant is breathing, taking in sunlight and releasing energy back into the water. This slow, steady process is soothing to imagine because it happens in a gentle rhythm. In a quiet pond, these bubbles rise one by one, soft and steady, like a tiny natural clock that keeps the water alive. There are also plants that change their glow depending on the season. Some species of fungi that partner with plants create a brighter light when the weather is warm and a softer light when the air becomes cooler. Forests that hold these glowing companions may shine faintly during certain nights, giving a calming green shimmer that feels otherworldly. It is easy to imagine how ancient travelers felt walking through such forests. The light is not harsh or sharp. It is low, slow, and comforting, guiding the eyes gently through the darkness. Thinking about all these plants creates a dreamy feeling because they show how soft and creative nature can be. Plants that glow with their own light. Plants that rest on water like small islands. Plants that survive on nothing but air and mist. Each one feels like a quiet reminder that the world still holds gentle mysteries. And when you picture them in your mind, your breath becomes slower, your chest becomes lighter, and your thoughts begin to settle into a calm rhythm. If you close your eyes for a moment, you can imagine a glowing plant beside you, giving off a soft green light. You can picture a floating garden moving slowly across calm water. You can see an air plant hanging silently, absorbing tiny droplets from the air. All of these images bring a peaceful feeling, as if the world is showing you a softer, more magical side of itself. And in that quiet space, your mind feels ready to rest. Have you ever watched a plant move as if it were slowly waking up from a dream? Tonight, you'll enter a calm world where plants behave a little like quiet animals. They do not rush. They do not hurry. They simply move in their own soft rhythm, and somehow, their gentle motions make your own mind feel calmer. As you listen, let each small detail guide your thoughts into a slower, peaceful place. Imagine a tiny green creature that waits, almost perfectly still until something touches it. This is the Venus flytrap, one of the most surprising plants on Earth. Most plants grow and stretch, but this one actually reacts. Its leaves sit open like the pages of a soft book, holding little hairs inside. When something brushes against those hairs twice, the trap slowly closes, like fingers coming together to cup water. People often imagine it snapping shut like a fast animal, but the movement is quieter than that. It is controlled, gentle, and looks almost like the plant is giving a small hug. Even after it closes, nothing feels rushed. The plant simply holds its space, as if saying, I have all the time in the world. Just knowing something in nature moves at that pace can help your breathing slow down too. Now think about another plant that reacts to touch but in a much softer way. Mimosa pudica is sometimes called the shy plant or the touch-me-not. When your finger rests lightly on its delicate leaves, they fold inward, one by one, like tiny hands curling in for comfort. The movement is graceful, like a sigh. It feels almost emotional, as if the plant is protecting itself from too much attention. For centuries, people around the world have paused when they saw this plant move. There is something soothing about watching its leaves fold so politely, so quietly. It reminds you that even the smallest things in nature have their own ways of responding to the world. As you picture these movements, notice how calm your mind begins to feel. Plants do not rush toward the next task. They do not worry about the next moment. They simply follow the light, the air, and the soft signals around them. This slow, peaceful behavior makes it easier for you to relax, too. Just thinking about a plant closing its leaves the way a person might close their eyes brings a soft comfort to your thoughts. Another gentle motion in nature appears every morning and every night. Morning glories with their soft, silky petals open like tiny doors to the sunrise. They do not force themselves awake all at once. Instead, the petals slowly loosen, then spread wide, as if stretching after a long rest. The process is so smooth that if you watch closely, it feels almost like the plant is breathing. When the day ends, the flowers close again, wrapping themselves in a peaceful fold. People often describe watching a morning glory open as watching time itself slow down. The smooth, patient movement can bring a little stillness to anyone who pays attention. There is also a plant that spends its whole life following the sun across the sky. You may already know about it, sunflowers. But many people don't realize how soft their movements truly are. When they are young, sunflower heads gently turn from east to west throughout the day, always facing the warm light. The movement is so calm and steady that you cannot see it happening in the moment. But if you watch a time-lapse video, you'll notice the flower lifting and turning like a slow animal looking around its world. Some people say this gentle tracking feels like hope, because the flower always knows where the light is. Just imagining a sunflower opening its heart to the morning sun can bring a lightness to your own chest. Every one of these plants moves for a reason, using signals inside their cells, responding to touch, light, or time. But to the human eye, these motions look simple and peaceful, like nature is showing that life does not always have to rush to be beautiful. When you picture a plant turning its face to the sun, or folding its leaves after a soft touch, you might feel your shoulders relax without even trying. Many people forget that plants are alive in ways we cannot always see. Their movements are slow, patient, and steady. In a world where everything tries to move quickly, plants remind us what it feels like to slow down. Each small action, a closing leaf, an opening flower, a quiet turn toward the sun, carries a kind of calm energy that gently settles into your mind. Imagine sitting in a quiet garden. There is no wind, no noise, and the air is warm. You look around and see a Venus flytrap resting like a tiny creature waiting for the right moment. A mimosa plant sits nearby, its leaves neatly folded from a soft touch. Morning glories rest with their petals wrapped in a gentle curl, waiting for the sun to rise. Young sunflowers stand nearby, slowly turning their bright faces toward the last bit of daylight. Nothing competes with anything else. Everything simply exists in its own quiet rhythm, like a soft lullaby made of green color and peaceful motion. If you focus on any one plant, you can almost feel the calmness inside it. A Venus flytrap doesn't waste energy. It waits. A mimosa doesn't panic. It folds, protects, and rests. A morning glory doesn't leap into the day. It opens when the sun is ready. A sunflower doesn't bend in fear. It reaches toward warmth, following the path of light with steady confidence. Each one shows a different kind of softness, a different kind of patience, and a different way to move through life without tension. These natural motions help soothe your thoughts because they remind you that it is okay to slow down. It is okay to take your time, to breathe, to rest, to react gently when something touches your life. Plants move with care and purpose, and somehow that simple truth makes your mind feel lighter. You might feel your eyelids growing heavier, your breathing becoming deeper, as if your thoughts are easing into a calmer place. When you end your day, it can help to imagine these slow, peaceful movements continuing in the background of your mind. Think of a sunflower turning its face to the soft evening glow, or a morning glory closing its petals like a cozy blanket. Think of a mimosa folding into a safe shape, or a Venus flytrap resting quietly, waiting without worry. These images carry a soft kind of comfort, like nature whispering that everything is okay and that gentle motion is enough. As you rest, let these quiet plants keep moving in their easy, patient way. Let their calmness guide you into a softer space inside yourself. In their slow, graceful actions, they hold a message that your mind can feel even without thinking about it. Peace does not always come from stopping. Sometimes it comes from moving gently, steadily, and with a softness that settles the whole world around you. Some of the most amazing plants on Earth live in places that feel almost impossible. You might think that plants only grow where it is warm, soft, and easy, but nature has a different idea. In deserts, on high mountains, and even underwater, plants survive in quiet ways that are full of gentle strength. Tonight, as you listen, you will see that survival does not have to be loud or fast. It can be soft, steady, and full of calm determination. Imagine a desert where the sun feels like it is burning the ground, and the wind carries only dry, hot air. It seems like nothing could survive here. Yet, the desert is full of plants quietly making their way through life. Cacti are the most famous, and they are true masters of patience. Their thick, ribbed bodies store water for months, sometimes even years. They do not have soft leaves to lose moisture, so their entire body works as a storage system. At night, when the temperature cools just a little, cacti release tiny amounts of water and breathe slowly. Their movements are invisible to us, yet every small pulse is life, steady and calm. Some desert plants open their flowers only at night, when the air is cooler and the animals that pollinate them are awake. In that quiet darkness, the flowers glow gently, waiting for bees or moths. Desert plants do not rush. They do not panic. They teach patience in the simplest way, living in a world that seems harsh but is full of careful balance. High up on mountains, where the air is thin and cold, other plants show their quiet courage. Alpine flowers grow between rocks, often hugging the ground to stay warm. They do not reach for the sky like the tall trees in valleys. Instead, they bend and stretch in the wind, letting the cold pass over them without breaking. Their roots sink into cracks in stone, holding on to the tiniest bit of soil or moisture. Even in snow, these plants keep a calm rhythm. Some lie hidden under ice for months and slowly awaken as the sun melts the snow. It is a soft patience that feels almost magical. To see them bloom after a long winter is to witness resilience in a quiet, gentle form. They remind us that strength does not always have to be loud. Sometimes it is the slow, careful holding on that makes all the difference. Underwater, plants face a very different challenge. Sunlight fades as you go deeper, and water carries both food and danger. Aquatic plants have learned to float, to bend, and to rise toward the light without any hurry. Think of a water lily. Its leaves float on the surface, moving with the rhythm of the water. Its roots anchor it to the bottom, but they do not fight against the currents. Every movement is soft, every adjustment slow. Even algae, often so small we barely notice it, survives in streams and ponds by turning sunlight into energy quietly, efficiently, like tiny green factories. Some underwater plants grow entirely in water, opening their leaves just enough to breathe and photosynthesize, while currents pass through them gently. Their survival is calm and balanced, showing that life does not need speed to succeed. Just steady presence is enough. Plants living in extreme conditions often have hidden tricks. Desert plants may grow tiny hairs on their surfaces to collect moisture from morning air. Mountain plants may curl their leaves to protect themselves from frost. Aquatic plants may trap bubbles of air to float higher and reach sunlight. These small adaptations are not rushed or dramatic. They happen slowly over time with a quiet intelligence. They are soft lessons in finding calm solutions to difficult problems. Watching them, even in your mind, can make your own thoughts feel lighter. You begin to understand that strength and survival can be gentle, patient, and careful. Even in the most extreme places, plants create beauty in ways that feel soft and magical. Night-blooming desert flowers release gentle scents that fill the still air. Alpine blooms color the gray stones with bright, quiet life. Water lilies make pools feel like mirrors, reflecting sunlight and clouds. Each plant seems to whisper that even in harsh conditions, life finds a way to be gentle, quiet, and full of calm energy. The soft movement of leaves, the careful unfolding of petals, the slow adjustment of roots, all of it carries a rhythm that is relaxing to observe. Just imagining these plants surviving can help your own mind settle. Their quiet strength becomes part of your thoughts, letting your body and mind follow the same gentle pace. Some plants even survive in places that feel almost impossible. There are mosses that live in boiling hot springs, holding onto rocks while steaming water passes over them. There are plants that grow in salt flats, pulling water from the soil in tiny, patient sips. High in the mountains, lichens cling to bare rock, slowly absorbing air and rain over years. None of these plants rush. None of them worry. They simply exist in their environment, perfectly adapted, teaching us that calm persistence is stronger than panic or speed. As you picture them now, notice how your own breathing might slow, how your shoulders might feel softer, and how your mind becomes more relaxed. Plants in extreme places also remind us of time. Their life cycles may be very different from what we expect. Some desert plants may spend months or years almost invisible, waiting for rain. Mountain plants may bloom for only a few weeks, making each moment special. Aquatic plants may adjust constantly to subtle changes in water flow. These quiet rhythms are natural, and they can be a gentle guide for us. When you focus on them, you can feel that time can move differently, slower, softer, and more peaceful. Life does not always have to rush. Sometimes the most extraordinary strength is found in taking your time. When you think about these extreme plants, notice the details. The way a cactus rib expands slowly with stored water, the way an alpine flower bends in the wind without breaking, the way a lily pad rises softly to the surface. All of it is quiet, steady, and deeply patient. Their survival is not harsh or aggressive. It is calm, soft, and thoughtful. Watching them in your imagination can be like taking a slow walk in a hidden garden where everything is peaceful and deliberate. Each movement, each adjustment, each tiny pulse of life carries a soothing rhythm for your own mind. Even the tiniest extreme plants are fascinating. Small desert succulents may have leaves so thick they store months of water. Tiny alpine herbs may seem fragile but survive freezing temperatures for years. Underwater grasses may sway gently in currents, holding small creatures in their leaves, balancing life above and below the water. Their quiet persistence teaches that survival does not need to be dramatic. It can be subtle, soft, and calm, and noticing it can relax your own thoughts, letting your mind feel safe and slow. Plants in extreme places are a reminder that life can exist anywhere, even where we think it is impossible. They do not complain. They do not fight unnecessarily. They simply adapt, in gentle, patient ways, always moving just enough to survive and thrive. Thinking about them at the end of the day can help you slow your own pace. Their quiet determination becomes a guide for your thoughts, helping you settle into calm and rest. As your mind imagines a cactus holding water in the desert, a flower bending in the mountains, or a lily floating on a quiet pond, it also begins to let go of tension. Their slow and careful movements carry a peaceful energy that reaches your own mind and body. Tonight, as you let these images fill your thoughts, remember that plants do not need speed to live. Their survival is gentle, patient, and full of soft strength. They thrive in deserts, mountains, and underwater, moving with calm purpose. Every leaf, every stem, every tiny pulse is a quiet heartbeat of life that teaches us patience and peace. Let your breathing follow the same gentle rhythm. Feel the calm of extreme plants holding onto life softly, steadily, and beautifully. In their quiet ways, they guide you toward rest, carrying you into a soft, peaceful night. Some of the most comforting plants are the ones we can keep close to us, right in our rooms. They are quiet companions that work throughout the day without needing attention or applause. Spider plants, snake plants, and peace lilies are more than just decoration. They are alive in ways we often do not notice, slowly cleaning the air and creating a softer, calmer space around us. Thinking about them can be almost like listening to a soft, natural rhythm, one that fills a room without sound. Tonight, as you imagine these plants, you can feel your own space becoming gentler and lighter. Spider plants are one of the simplest and most fascinating examples. Their long, narrow leaves stretch outward like soft fingers, catching light and moving slightly even with the tiniest breeze. They pull toxins from the air slowly, invisibly. Chemicals that can irritate the lungs or make a room feel heavy are absorbed into the leaves, and the plant transforms them into harmless substances. No one hears it happening. No one sees the small changes, but the effect is there. As you watch a spider plant quietly sway, it is easy to imagine the air in your room becoming fresher, softer, and easier to breathe. The plant does not rush. It does not force itself to act. It simply works at a calm pace, hour by hour, creating a gentle, invisible change that supports life. Snake plants, also called mother-in-law's tongue, are even more special in how they clean the air. Their upright leaves rise like quiet towers, strong yet elegant. They absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen, not just during the day but even at night. While you sleep, the snake plant continues its work, silently improving the air you breathe. Each leaf is like a quiet guardian, holding life inside it and letting it flow into the room. These plants remind us that survival and care can be subtle, steady, and continuous. They do not need applause or attention. Just their calm presence is enough to make a difference. You can imagine lying in a soft bed with the snake plant standing nearby, its leaves steady, its energy peaceful, helping you breathe more easily without you even noticing. Peace lilies offer another layer of comfort. Their broad, white flowers seem delicate, almost glowing in soft light. But beneath that gentle appearance, they are quietly cleaning the air, pulling toxins from carpets, furniture, and the smallest corners of your room. The leaves themselves move very slightly as they respond to light, opening and closing softly to capture the maximum benefit. Their roots, hidden from view, are busy with their own work, filtering and recycling what comes through the soil. Peace lilies do not hurry, but their calm efficiency is remarkable. Just being near one can help your mind relax. You begin to notice the softness in the air, the quiet energy that feels almost like a gentle hug. All of these plants share a secret rhythm with the spaces they inhabit. As they absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen, as they filter harmful chemicals, as they sense light and grow, they create a subtle heartbeat in the room. It is slow, calm, and steady, and it can be almost hypnotic if you take a moment to notice it. Imagine the invisible work happening while you sit quietly. Every second, these plants are shaping the air around you, making it lighter, cleaner, and easier for your own lungs to take in. It is a natural process that we rarely see, yet it is always happening, as long as we pause and imagine it. Spider plants, snake plants, and peace lilies also have small movements that are calming to observe. The leaves of a spider plant may bend slightly as they reach toward the light, or a snake plant might straighten its upright leaves as sunlight touches them. Peace lily leaves move gently in response to your touch or a soft breeze. These motions are not loud or fast. They are smooth, gradual, and soft, like the slow breathing of the room itself. Watching them is like watching life happen at a perfect pace, one that encourages your own body to slow, to soften, and to release tension. There is a connection that forms when you spend time with these plants. It is not about words or noise. It is about a shared rhythm. You breathe and they breathe. You rest and they rest. You notice their growth and they notice the light, adjusting carefully to reach it. There is a calm harmony that exists quietly in the space, a reminder that life is not only about movement and speed. It is also about small, steady actions that add up over time. These plants teach patience and gentle care simply by being themselves. Even in the night, the effect continues. While you sleep, the snake plant still releases oxygen. The peace lily continues to filter the air. The spider plant holds the room together with its leaves, catching any tiny dust particles and purifying the space around you. Your room becomes a soft sanctuary, a place where the world outside cannot rush in. Each breath you take is a little lighter, a little calmer, and your body begins to relax in response. The presence of these plants can also be a visual comfort. The soft green of a spider plant, the upright elegance of a snake plant, and the gentle white flowers of a peace lily all create a sense of balance and calm. Their shapes are simple yet perfect. They remind us that beauty does not need to shout. It can be quiet, steady, and soothing, just like the rhythm of your own breathing when you are ready to rest. Looking at them while lying in bed or sitting quietly can be a meditative experience. Each leaf, each flower, each stem is a small teacher in patience, calm, and care. These plants also carry history. They have been companions to humans for centuries, growing in homes, offices, and sacred spaces. People have noticed their quiet abilities for generations. They are known to reduce stress, improve focus, and create comfort without trying. Their work is slow, invisible, and steady, much like nature itself. This slow magic is what makes them perfect for a calming environment, a place where your mind can finally release tension and your body can settle into softness. Even if you cannot touch them, imagining them can be enough. Picture the spider plant's long leaves, the snake plant's tall green towers, the peace lily's white blooms. Imagine them slowly cleaning the air, working while you breathe, creating a subtle rhythm that matches your own heartbeat. Their quiet, patient energy can help guide you toward rest. You begin to feel the calm of the space around you, the gentle touch of life happening silently. In your mind, you can imagine a whole room filled with these plants. Each one has its own rhythm, but together they form a soft chorus of calm. You breathe in and the plants release fresh oxygen. You exhale and the room feels lighter. Your eyes rest on the green and white shapes around you. The gentle energy of these plants becomes a part of your own body and mind. You feel the tension in your shoulders soften. Your heart rate slows. Your thoughts become quieter. You are part of the same rhythm, sharing it with living companions that need nothing from you except attention and care. By keeping plants close to you, or even by imagining them now, you invite calmness into your own life. Spider plants, snake plants, and peace lilies are quiet helpers. They do not demand anything. They simply exist, working slowly, steadily, and gracefully to purify the air and bring life to the spaces around them. The effect is gentle but powerful, and it is always available to you. Their calm energy can help you prepare for sleep, creating a natural rhythm that your mind and body can follow easily. Even the smallest action of noticing a plant can create relaxation. A single leaf, a small flower, or a quietly swaying stem reminds you that life is happening in soft, gentle ways all around. The air is cleaner, your space is calmer, and your mind begins to settle. These plants are teachers of slow, quiet care. They are reminders that life does not always need to rush, that calm persistence can create beauty and comfort, and that even small, invisible actions can change the world around you. Tonight, as you imagine your room filled with spider plants, snake plants, and peace lilies, feel your own breath match the rhythm of life happening around you. The air feels softer. Your thoughts feel calmer. Your body begins to relax. You are part of the same gentle process. These plants are working quietly, and you are resting quietly alongside them. Their soft, invisible energy is a lullaby for the mind, helping you sink deeper into calm and peace. When you look closely at a flower, a leaf, or even the arrangement of seeds, there is a secret story hiding in the patterns. Nature has a quiet way of organizing itself, a gentle order that feels perfect without ever trying to shout. The spirals on a pinecone, the curves of a sunflower, or the way leaves fan out around a stem are not random. They follow hidden rules, rhythms that guide the growth of every plant. This hidden symmetry can feel almost magical, a soft reminder that the world has its own calm logic. As you imagine it, the patterns create a gentle rhythm for your mind, inviting peace and stillness. Take the sunflower, for example. From far away, it looks like a simple yellow bloom, bright and cheerful. But if you look closer, the seeds in the center are arranged in tiny spirals, perfectly spaced, each turning slightly from the last. These spirals follow what scientists call the Fibonacci sequence, a series of numbers where each number is the sum of the two before it. You do not need to remember the math. What matters is that the pattern is naturally beautiful. It allows the sunflower to fit as many seeds as possible into the center without wasting space. Every time you notice this pattern, it is like peeking into a secret part of nature's design, one that is calm, careful, and precise. Leaves themselves are full of quiet geometry. Many plants grow leaves in spirals around a stem, not in random spots. This arrangement helps each leaf catch the most sunlight without shading the others. The pattern may be gentle, but it is clever. Nature has figured out ways to balance growth and survival with softness and beauty. Imagine a stem rising from the soil, each leaf turning slightly from the one below it, stretching into the light. The movement is slow, almost invisible, but the pattern is perfect. Looking at it makes you feel the calm, careful work of life happening right in front of your eyes. Even the tiny petals of a flower are arranged in soft, quiet symmetry. Roses, daisies, lilies, and many other flowers grow their petals in precise numbers, creating shapes that are balanced and pleasing to the eye. This is not by chance. The arrangement helps the plant attract pollinators, guiding bees, butterflies, and other insects to the center where pollen and nectar wait. Every petal is part of a careful design, part of a rhythm that serves life while creating beauty. You can imagine standing quietly in a field of flowers, noticing the hidden order in every bloom, and feeling your own thoughts soften as you notice the gentle geometry of life. Ferns are another example. Their leaves unfurl in tiny spirals called fiddleheads. Each spiral is a miniature echo of the spiral of the whole plant, repeating over and over. It is a calm rhythm, like a soft wave moving slowly through the greenery. As the fronds slowly open, they create patterns that feel natural and restful. Watching a fern is like watching a living piece of art, each curve and spiral carefully measured by nature, yet soft and gentle to look at. Your mind begins to settle as you follow the lines, tracing each curve with quiet attention. Pinecones, too, follow this secret geometry. The scales of a pinecone grow in overlapping spirals, turning gently from the center outward. Each scale is positioned to allow seeds to spread easily, but the pattern also creates a sense of order and harmony that is pleasing to the eye. Even in a quiet forest, noticing a pinecone can feel like discovering a hidden treasure. The calm symmetry reminds you that life is both practical and beautiful at the same time. Every curve, every spiral, every angle is a soft whisper of balance and care. Some cacti also show hidden geometry. Their spines grow in patterns that protect the plant, but they also follow spirals and curves that are quietly beautiful. The plant's surface, covered in repeating shapes, feels alive yet calm, structured yet gentle. Imagine running your fingers along the gentle ridges and seeing the soft order in the way each spine grows. It is a subtle reminder that even the harshest environments can contain quiet beauty, a hidden rhythm that brings calm to the mind if you take a moment to notice. Even leaves on trees follow subtle rules. Maple leaves, oak leaves, and many others grow in ways that maximize sunlight and minimize overlap. Each branch knows where to place its leaves, and each leaf knows how to stretch without crowding the others. The result is a natural order that looks perfect, though it was not planned by any person. Nature's intelligence shows itself quietly, in ways that feel soft, slow, and endlessly fascinating. You can imagine walking through a forest, noticing the careful spacing of each leaf and branch, and feeling a sense of calm flow through you as your mind follows the gentle patterns around you. Some flowers hide even more intricate geometry in the smallest details. Look at a daisy closely, and you can see hundreds of tiny florets arranged in concentric circles, all following the same quiet rhythm. This arrangement allows the plant to use space efficiently while creating shapes that are soft and harmonious. The patterns may be invisible at first glance, but when you notice them, they can feel like a secret message from nature, a gentle invitation to slow down and see the calm order behind life's beauty. Even seed pods follow hidden rules. Some pods spiral open when they are ready to release seeds, and the tiny movements follow patterns that have been perfected over thousands of years. Every twist and turn is quiet and deliberate. The plant knows exactly how to protect and release its seeds, using geometry as a gentle guide. Watching or imagining this slow opening can feel like seeing a story unfold at nature's own peaceful pace. There is a rhythm here that is calming, almost like a lullaby, moving softly and steadily. These patterns are not just for beauty. They are survival tools, guiding the plant to grow efficiently, protect itself, and reproduce. But there is a softness in the way the patterns appear. They do not scream for attention. They do not need to be loud or fast. The hidden geometry of plants is quiet, gentle, and endlessly soothing if you take a moment to notice it. Every spiral, every leaf arrangement, every curve is a soft reminder that life can follow rules and still feel calm and peaceful. Even looking at a single leaf can be calming. Notice the way its veins branch, forming smaller and smaller patterns that echo the larger shape. Imagine the sunlight filtering through the leaf, highlighting the gentle geometry of every line. Each vein, each angle, each curve carries the quiet energy of life organized in a soft, invisible order. Observing this carefully can help you slow your thoughts, calm your mind, and sink gently into relaxation. As you imagine a garden full of flowers, ferns, sunflowers, and cacti, each showing its secret symmetry, you can feel a sense of balance spreading through your body. The calm geometry of plants reminds you that life can be organized, gentle, and beautiful at the same time. Your mind begins to match the rhythm, following the spirals and curves in a slow, quiet motion. You notice the subtle connections between leaves, petals, seeds, and stems, and feel a sense of calm harmony fill the space around you. Even the tiniest seed shows geometry. The shape of the seed, the pattern of its surface, and the way it grows into a plant all follow quiet rules. Nature's mathematics is hidden in the smallest details, and noticing it can feel like discovering a gentle secret. Every small observation becomes a soft meditation, guiding your thoughts into slower, calmer patterns. The more you notice, the more relaxed you feel. In every garden, forest, or even a single potted plant, hidden geometry is everywhere. Spirals, symmetrical leaves, perfectly arranged petals, all these patterns create a quiet rhythm for the mind. They are soft, slow, and calming, working without effort or sound. By imagining or observing them, you can feel your own thoughts slow, your breathing become gentler, and your body begin to relax. Nature's patterns are like a lullaby, a gentle melody for your eyes, mind, and spirit, inviting you into peace and stillness. As you lie quietly, picture the soft spirals of sunflowers, the careful arrangement of fern leaves, the elegant geometry of cactus spines. Imagine each plant following its own rhythm, growing, opening, and unfolding in perfect order. The gentle patterns guide your thoughts, creating calm without effort. Nature's hidden mathematics is not just clever, it is soothing. Every curve, every spiral, every leaf is a quiet teacher of balance, patience, and calmness, helping you relax deeply and softly. Walk quietly through an old forest, and you will notice something almost magical. The air feels softer, cooler, and calmer. The sounds you expect, birds, wind, footsteps, seem muffled as if the forest itself is holding its breath. Moss carpets the ground like a green blanket, absorbing sound and softening every step. Even the tiniest twig seems to vanish under its gentle embrace. There is a stillness here that goes beyond the absence of noise. It is a quiet that wraps around you, a soft calm that invites your mind to settle and your body to breathe slower. In these ancient forests, some trees have stood longer than any human memory. Bristlecone pines, sequoias, and olive trees have survived thousands of years, quietly watching the world change around them. They were alive long before civilizations built their first cities, before empires rose and fell, and even before some mountains had names. Standing beside one of these old giants, you feel the weight of time, but in a peaceful way. There is no rush here, no pressure, only patience stretching across centuries. The forest teaches you to slow down, to match its quiet rhythm, and to appreciate the long, soft passage of time. Under the surface, an invisible world is at work. Roots stretch deep into the soil, connecting with other trees and plants. Fungi form soft networks around these roots, sharing nutrients and messages. This hidden network acts like the forest's quiet nervous system, a gentle communication channel that allows trees to help one another. A wounded tree can receive nutrients from its neighbors. A young sapling growing in shade can be supported by an older tree reaching sunlight above. Everything works in subtle cooperation, without noise or conflict. The forest becomes a soft community, teaching calm generosity and patience. Moss is another secret keeper of the forest. It grows slowly, almost imperceptibly, covering rocks, fallen logs, and the bases of trees. Moss feels soft underfoot, but it does more than cushion your steps. It absorbs sound, muffling movement and creating a gentle silence. Rainfall hits the moss like a slow drum, its tiny leaves catching water and holding it close. Even the wind moves differently here, slowed by the moss and undergrowth. It is as if the forest is wrapped in a soft, green quilt that quiets the world. This silence is not empty. It is full of gentle life and hidden movement, a calm reminder that stillness can be alive. Leaves high above whisper quietly to one another. When the wind brushes through the canopy, they do not just sway. They exchange small signals about light, moisture, and danger. Trees listen and respond. Branches shift slowly, creating openings for sunlight to reach lower plants, while leaves below stretch and adjust to capture the soft rays. Everything in the forest seems connected by invisible threads, a network of quiet understanding. The forest is alive, but it moves at a slow, measured pace, teaching patience and calm observation. Imagine walking along a forest path lined with ancient trees. Each trunk tells a story in its rings, recording centuries of growth, drought, storms, and fire. Each ring is a quiet memory, a reminder of resilience. Standing beside these trees, you can almost feel the gentle pulse of life stretching over ages. The forest encourages you to let go of worry, to match its quiet heartbeat, and to become part of the soft rhythm of nature. The longer you walk, the more you notice the small details, the twist of a branch, the curve of a root, the soft layering of leaves, all forming a calm, harmonious whole. Even fallen logs have a secret life. Covered in moss and fungi, they slowly decompose, feeding the soil and providing shelter for insects, birds, and small mammals. Every broken branch, every decayed stump is not wasted. It is transformed into quiet life that supports the forest. This soft recycling teaches a gentle patience, showing that even endings can become beginnings in a calm, continuous flow. You can lie quietly on the forest floor and feel the soft hum of life beneath you, a hidden world that is always moving gently, always creating quietly. Water in the forest adds another layer of soft tranquility. Streams and tiny rivulets weave through roots and rocks, their gentle movement creating a natural rhythm. You can hear the water trickle over stones, a steady, soft sound that soothes the mind. Rain dripping from leaves adds a gentle percussion, while fog clings to branches and softens the light. The forest water does not rush. It flows slowly, intentionally, showing the patient power of nature. Each pool and puddle reflects the trees above, creating small mirrors of calm and quiet symmetry. Some forests are home to trees with strange, hidden abilities, roots that wrap around rocks, branches that fuse with neighbors, and trunks that store water for dry months. The forest teaches in whispers that life adapts quietly, surviving with patience rather than force. Every detail, from the smallest moss to the tallest tree, carries a story of gentle strength. You notice the soft layers of life, how each plant depends on the next, and how cooperation happens naturally, without noise or struggle. This calm, hidden teamwork encourages a sense of peace in the observer, as though the forest itself is a living meditation. Birds and insects move softly, aware of the quiet life around them. Their sounds are not loud or harsh, but gentle punctuations in the soft rhythm of leaves, roots, and moss. You can sit quietly and notice the subtle patterns. A bird hopping between roots, a spider weaving a near-invisible web, a beetle moving along the mossy ground. The forest seems to encourage mindfulness, showing you that even the smallest movements matter, but in a soft, non-intrusive way. Observing these small actions calms the mind, bringing you deeper into the gentle life of the woods. Light in the forest is filtered and soft. Sunlight passes through leaves in gentle beams, creating patterns on the forest floor. Shadows move slowly as the day progresses, changing the colors and textures around you. This soft, shifting light mirrors the quiet changes in the forest itself. The slow rhythm of light and shadow invites the mind to relax, matching the gentle pace of nature. It is as if the forest itself is breathing with you, a quiet partner in your calm. Even the oldest trees maintain a subtle energy. Their presence feels heavy, but not in a burdensome way. It is a quiet weight, like the slow pulse of time. Standing beneath their branches, you feel a soft protection, a gentle calm that encourages you to slow your breath and soften your thoughts. Every branch, every root, every leaf contributes to this quiet energy. It is an invisible hug from the forest, a reminder that you are part of a living, patient world. As you imagine the forest at night, the calm grows deeper. Shadows lengthen, sounds soften even further, and the moss and leaves continue their quiet work. Roots exchange nutrients in slow pulses, leaves shift gently, and the air feels cooler and cleaner. Even darkness does not stop life. It simply slows it to a soft, peaceful rhythm. You can feel yourself sinking into this calm, noticing the subtle life all around you. Every step, every breath, every glance becomes part of the forest's quiet heartbeat. The forest keeps its secrets in soft ways. It teaches patience, calm, and mindfulness without ever saying a word. Every detail, from the smallest moss to the tallest ancient tree, encourages relaxation. You can imagine lying down on the forest floor, hearing only the soft rustle of leaves, the quiet hum of insects, and the gentle flow of water. You feel connected to the trees, the moss, the roots, and the soil. The forest's energy wraps around you like a soft blanket, helping your mind relax and your body become still. Walking through an old forest is like stepping into a quiet, living meditation. Every tree, every leaf, every root is part of a larger pattern that moves slowly and gently. You can feel time stretching, patience settling in, and the calm rhythm of life around you. The secrets of the forest are everywhere if you take a moment to notice. In the moss, the roots, the flowing streams, the shadows, and the gentle communication between plants. Each secret is a soft invitation to relax, breathe slowly, and feel at peace. As night falls, the forest seems to sigh in quiet contentment. The moss holds the last warmth of the day, roots settle deeper into the soil, and leaves close softly. Even in darkness, life continues in subtle, peaceful ways. You can imagine yourself resting there, surrounded by calm, ancient wisdom. The forest teaches a final lesson: that life is slow, patient, and gentle when we allow ourselves to notice. Every sound, every texture, every movement is a soft thread in the fabric of peace that stretches across centuries of living. Imagine sitting quietly in a garden just as the sun begins to set. The air smells soft and green, filled with the scent of leaves, flowers, and soil. Around you, plants sway gently in the evening breeze. They are not loud or demanding. They simply exist, offering calm, peace, and life without asking for anything in return. There is a quiet companionship here, a gentle presence that holds space for you to relax, breathe, and feel safe. Plants, in their silent way, become companions in the quiet universe around us. Every plant you see, from the smallest moss to the tallest tree, is giving life in some form. Leaves produce oxygen for you to breathe. Flowers invite pollinators that keep ecosystems alive. Roots hold the soil together, keeping water and nutrients in place for all living things. Even a tiny houseplant sitting on your windowsill quietly cleans the air and balances energy in your home. This giving is effortless. Plants do not demand attention or praise. They simply perform their work in a calm, steady rhythm. Observing them teaches you to appreciate quiet generosity. Close your eyes and imagine the gentle movement of leaves. Some sway with the wind, some stretch toward the sun, and others curl at night to protect themselves. Each motion is small, slow, and unhurried, yet it carries purpose. Leaves breathe and exhale. They feel sunlight and shade. They respond to touch and even subtle changes in the air. In their patience, they remind you to slow your own pace. Life does not always need to rush. There is wisdom in quiet consistency, in taking time to grow, to heal, and to simply exist. Plants support life far beyond themselves. Their roots provide shelter for tiny insects. Their branches give homes to birds. Their flowers feed bees, butterflies, and hummingbirds. In forests, trees exchange nutrients through hidden networks underground. In deserts, cacti store water that can help animals survive long dry spells. In rivers and wetlands, water plants create calm homes for fish and amphibians. Every plant has a role in a larger story of quiet support, gently holding life together in ways we might not even notice. Even when plants seem still, they are busy. They store energy, grow slowly, and respond to changes in their environment. Some track the sun across the sky, slowly turning their leaves to catch light. Some release chemicals to warn nearby plants of danger. Others produce flowers in precise rhythms to match the arrival of pollinators. Everything is carefully balanced, subtle, and calm. When you watch this, you begin to notice the quiet patterns in your own life. You see that giving, waiting, and sensing can be powerful without ever needing to be loud. The companionship of plants is also emotional. There is a sense of grounding you feel when you sit near a tree or touch a leaf. Their presence calms the mind. Studies show that being around plants reduces stress and lowers heart rates. Their quiet energy encourages deep breathing and soft thought. Even their colors have an effect. Greens calm, soft yellows soothe, and gentle blues restore balance. Nature has designed this relationship over millions of years. Plants offer a sanctuary, a safe space for humans to rest and reconnect with the slow rhythm of life. Imagine a night garden with moonlight falling softly on petals. The scent of jasmine or lavender drifts through the air. You hear nothing but the soft rustle of leaves and maybe the distant call of a night bird. The world feels quieter here, softer, and more comforting. Plants continue their work quietly. Flowers release oxygen, roots pull nutrients from the soil, and leaves continue their subtle communication. Nothing is rushed. Nothing is forced. It is as if the plants themselves are holding space for you to relax and feel at peace. Even in the harshest places, plants are companions. In deserts, they teach resilience. A lone cactus standing in the sun holds water, shade, and life for other creatures around it. On mountains, alpine plants cling to rocks, sharing nutrients and shelter. Underwater, plants rise toward the light, supporting fish, insects, and microscopic life. They exist quietly, offering life and balance even when conditions are extreme. Observing them reminds you that calm strength often works best in silence. You do not need to shout to survive or to help others. Plants also give through their beauty. Flowers bloom in colors we can see, but also in patterns invisible to humans, guiding bees and butterflies. Their shapes, symmetry, and soft movements are calming to observe. Watching a flower slowly open is like watching a secret unfold. Even something as simple as the curve of a leaf or the texture of a bark can bring comfort and focus to your mind. These small wonders remind you that life's gentleness is everywhere if you are willing to notice. The roots beneath the soil are also part of this companionship. They anchor the plant and hold the earth, preventing erosion. They store water and nutrients, ensuring survival during tough times. Some roots stretch for miles, connecting with other plants and sharing strength. Underground, there is a quiet conversation happening, a slow, steady support network that mirrors the calm relationships plants offer above ground. In this, there is a lesson for us. True support often happens quietly, without recognition, and it can last for generations. Even the smallest plants have their own gifts. A single potted plant on a desk releases oxygen and absorbs small toxins in the air. It softens the energy of a room and gives a sense of calm. Ferns, moss, or a small flower can become anchors for your mind, gentle companions in moments of stress. They ask nothing in return. Their patience, persistence, and calmness are always present, quietly reminding us to slow down, breathe, and feel grounded. Think of the forest at night. Stars may peek through branches, and the wind may brush softly across leaves. Plants continue their quiet work. Flowers close, leaves shift, and roots continue to move and support life below the surface. Even in darkness, they give. They continue to support, nurture, and hold the balance of their surroundings. The quiet energy of this world can become your own, helping you release tension and enter a calm, restful state. Plants also teach forgiveness and renewal. Fallen leaves decompose, becoming nutrients for new growth. Broken branches can take root and grow into new plants. Seeds lie dormant for decades, waiting for the perfect time to awaken. Every act of giving in the plant world is gentle, patient, and continuous. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is forced. Life flows quietly, and in watching or imagining it, your mind learns to slow and relax with the rhythm of giving and receiving. Their companionship is both physical and emotional. Being near plants helps humans feel safe, calm, and supported. Touching leaves or stems can lower stress. Observing growth or color changes can soothe the mind. Listening to leaves sway or water move among roots can calm racing thoughts. The connection between humans and plants is quiet, gentle, and profound. It reminds us that life is not only about doing, moving, or achieving. Sometimes, it is about being, observing, and accepting the quiet support around us. As you imagine a night full of plants, the world grows soft. Trees sway lightly, flowers release gentle scents, and roots continue their hidden work below. Moss and small plants hold sound and energy. The air feels alive but calm, wrapped in gentle rhythms. You can feel yourself becoming part of this quiet universe. Each breath matches the soft rhythm of leaves. Each heartbeat feels like the pulse of a root system, and each thought slows as if to honor the patience of every plant around you. Plants give without asking. They hold peace without demanding attention. They support life without expectation. In their quiet presence, you can let go of worries, slow your mind, and feel grounded. You can imagine yourself among them, breathing the calm air, listening to the soft rustle of leaves, and feeling the gentle heartbeat of life. The universe may be vast, but in this moment, surrounded by the quiet companionship of plants, it feels safe, soft, and complete. So, as you settle into sleep tonight, remember that plants are always around, giving, holding, and supporting. Their quiet presence is a gift, a soft energy that can guide you into rest. Imagine yourself in a garden, under trees, with flowers around and moss underfoot. Feel the gentle rhythm of life all around you. Let your breath match the slow heartbeat of roots and leaves. Let your mind rest in the calm energy of green life. You are safe, you are held, and you are part of a quiet universe that stretches across time and space, just like the plants that surround you. The world of plants is patient, generous, and endlessly calm. Their presence is a gentle companion to every human, offering peace, oxygen, beauty, and support. They do not rush. They do not demand. They simply exist, and in their existence they give everything quietly and fully. Let that thought carry you into sleep. Imagine the soft green world around you, full of life and calm, holding you in its stillness, helping you breathe, relax, and rest completely. Tonight, let the quiet companionship of plants guide you into dreams among the leaves, branches, and roots, wrapped in the infinite calm of their gentle presence.